Hello, everyone.
Hi
How are
there.
we? So we're doing something a little different today.
Something a little different for those
Yeah,
of you who can't understand Duncan.
yeah. There you go. I have trouble speaking. You know that from watching the channel. So judging from the kind of popularity of the review we did a little while ago, we decided we want to do more stuff like this. So we're going to do more sort of topical discussion-based stuff.
So
And
today,
yeah. So today,
we're going to be doing a little bit of a kind of first impressions discussion on the Outlast 2 demo that was
Yeah.
released recently on the PlayStation Store. And I
Yeah.
guess it was released for PC as well. I don't know if...
It was released for PC a couple months ago, but I guess for Halloween they kind of decided let's put it onto the consoles.
Yeah.
So
For those of you unaware, the official Outlast game will be released. I believe it's billed for Q1 in 2017, so beginning of the year,
yeah,
or beginning of the financial year anyway.
yeah. And we thought it would be an appropriate kind of thing, seeing as we played the first one. We're both really excited for the second game. So yeah. We should also say, by the way, usually when we record stuff, we always are together. But
Forever.
we are recording separately today. We're recording via Skype. So if the
Yeah.
sound quality is a little bit different, that's why.
There's a whole setup involved. I'm not even using my laptop.
Yeah.
You know.
But anyway, let's get stuck in. So, Ollie, tell me, what are your general thoughts on the demo we played?
It definitely got me excited for the upcoming game. I really enjoyed playing it, actually.
Yeah.
I obviously because of like massive success of Outlast and kind of how it went from indie hit to like actual hit.
Yeah.
They definitely have more money to put into the second game, and I think that's very clear from what I played of it.
Yeah.
Like you can definitely see where it's been brushed up, and I'll get more into it at the time, but like voice acting, graphics, they're all better than the original game.
Yeah, so that was kind of my thought as well, was that it's so Outlast. Like you get the feeling
Yeah.
that they translated the feeling of the first game, took it to a new location, which I think is going to be equally as scary, if not more scary. And they captured the essence of that game so well.
Yeah, for sure.
And that in a very in a short demo, it was very concentrated. It definitely captured the sense of the game.
Yeah, it was definitely that Outlast feel. I don't think there's many games that really made me feel the same way that Outlast did.
Yeah.
And I think it definitely carries that forwards, even though it's a new location and kind of a new theme.
Yeah. All right, so let's go through the game. Let's talk about some of our favorite moments. And kind of discuss what was good, what was not so good, what was scary, what was not so scary.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we kind of just went through individually and played it, and it was chronologically our thoughts as we were playing along.
Yeah.
So I guess I'll start since I'm looking at my little notes sheet.
Go for it.
I noticed like pretty much immediately the voice acting is better.
Right.
Because
Okay.
there basically wasn't much in the original Outlast.
Yeah, totally. The original character Miles Upshur wasn't really voiced other than a few like groans and grunts.
No, he literally was just ooh.
These characters are fully voiced. They've put a lot more concentration into it, I think.
Hello? I'm lost and hurt.
I actually have one note that was that was taken from before the game actually started.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know if you remember it or it stuck out in your mind, but there's a brightness meter like most games have, and this brightness meter was superb.
It made me shit myself. Oops, there it goes.
There you go. But I understand what you mean though, because it was totally like that sort of thing. Like you read the thing, it's usually, oh, move the brightness meter so that the character is barely visible or something. But it was a very scary, very outlasty kind of
you
thing.
Crank it up and there's the guy just standing in the doorway like staring into your soul.
But it did give me the impression that the game was going to be a very dark one, so I put the brightness up a lot. It was like 2 or something notches from the top.
Yeah, like traditionally when I play a horror game, and this is kind of off topic, but when I play a horror game, I will generally put the brightness where they think it should be and then crank it up like 2 or 3 notches from there.
I'm totally the same. Also, so I heard that the character you play as in the demo might not be the one that you play as in the full game. I don't know how true that is, but I think the Outlast games have a message to them, and it is do not be an investigative journalist, because
Basically,
like, those guys do not end up well.
Miles lost his fingers. This guy, as we will see later on, does not make it out okay.
No, not at all. But to go on your previous point, I put down great soundtracking. So like, I thought all the sound effects in the whole demo were brilliantly done.
Yeah, although there was another complaint I had right at the beginning when you're falling down the slope.
Yeah.
There's a sound effect that sounds almost like someone rubbing against carpet, and that annoyed me. And it was the only sound effect that jarred me out of it at all. Was right at the beginning. For some reason, just like sliding down that slope, it literally sounded like someone rubbing up against the carpet, not rubbing up against like dirt and rocks.
Yeah. Okay, next. What did you think?
I noticed quite early on as well, definitely sticking with the Outlast tropes.
Yeah.
Because you obviously have the video camera with the night vision, and the batteries and the same sound effects for the batteries as in the last game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Which I thought was probably a good idea on their part, because obviously everyone is into Outlast because of how successful the first game was.
Yeah, sure.
And I think keeping some familiarity through it is probably a good idea.
Yeah.
It does beg the question, why does everyone always have a night vision camera?
Mm-hmm.
But because that was the same in Whistleblower as well. I don't know if you ever played that DLC, but
yeah, I didn't play the DLC, but
yeah, the guy you're playing as in that is being filmed while he's part of the Wall Rider program, and that camera he's being filmed with happens to be a night vision camera.
Yeah.
So it's definitely an Outlast trope now, because that's now the third game I've played that has it in. Yeah. But I think it is what the game is known for, so I don't think that's necessarily a negative thing.
I think it's important with any sequel you're making. I think, you've got to take the things that people liked from the original, add them, and kind of move them to the sequel to keep that feeling, but also improve stuff. And I think that sort of the camera stuff, that was some of the stuff that really, kept the feeling of Outlast all the way through. So I was
for sure.
okay with that as well. I thought going into it, I had heard a lot that it was really scary, and I'd read some interviews from the developers and designers and stuff saying that they wanted to, and this is a quote, punish the player, and make it really, really scary. And so I don't know if it's just me going in, I was expecting it to be a lot scarier at first. Like it does start off a little bit, not slowly, but there aren't huge jump scares right at the start. So it was maybe just me expecting too much, but at the start at least I thought it wasn't as scary as I expected it to be.
No, yeah, definitely. It is, I think, trying to build the suspense, because going into an Outlast game, you're supposed to kind of know what you're getting into, which is, I think, what they were doing with the demo, because they expect everyone playing it to have either heard of, watched, or have played the last game.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they were building the suspense based on that. It's like, you're playing a horror game, so you're waiting for the jump scare, and they're not giving it to you to try and build the suspense. But I agree that it maybe went on a little bit too long before you were actually frightened by anything.
Yeah.
Because if you go too long, I think, without having an actual scare, it doesn't necessarily have to be a jump scare, but having like an actual
creepiness moment.
Yeah, like actual danger to you as a person.
Yeah.
It begins to kind of drag on, because you know that nothing's happening. Excuse me.
And there was I thought the demo was really good at building an atmosphere really quickly. Those first couple minutes where you're walking through the sort of I don't really know what it is. It's kind of, I guess, not a valley, but kind of like a little village bit. But there is one bit where you bring the camera up and you look around like fences and stuff, and you see a couple people looking at you, and I was kind of like, I wanted to find that scary, and I guess it was kind of freaky, but at the same time I was just like, okay, well, I can see them really clearly and they're not doing anything, so should I feel threatened?
The main kind of scary thing is about Outlast enemies is they are always trying to get you.
Yeah.
So there's kind of a lack of that when an enemy is like stood on the opposite side of a fence and just backs slowly away from you. It's like, well, you're not actually a threat to me. The whole scary thing about Outlast is that you can't fight back, but if they're not doing anything, it's not a problem.
Next thing I had down was I had good body awareness, which I feel is getting better in games as a whole, but like in this game, there's a bit where you're crawling through a vent. and I looked around behind me and I could see my body really well, which I liked.
Yeah, I actually have a slight complaint about that because I do like being able to see my body in games, and that was obviously the case in the last Outlast. Like when you were crawling along on the ground, you could see your like hands moving in front of you and stuff, and I like that. But there were a couple of moments when I found his hands really distracting through the demo.
Yeah,
because
fair.
Every time you like ran through the cornfield or when you were like swatting flies away from you, his hands have an animation they do independently of you. Like you don't control it. It's just meant to build immersion. But the first time it happened, I thought there was like an enemy or something in front of me that had like run across my screen before I realized, oh, that was actually just my hand. Because it's a bit distracting when you're playing the game and your hand just appears up in front of the camera.
Yeah.
But that might just be me. I just found it a bit distracting from the actual gameplay when my arms were waving about like a madman, because I don't think in my life I've waved my hands around like that in front of my face.
Yeah, no, you're right. Yeah, it's a good point.
My next point is completely kind of just game feel.
Right.
Because thankfully they fixed the controls from the last game, which is a blessing, because in the last game, wasn't it? It was L1 or L2 to run, which was a really odd control.
Yeah, it was a nightmare.
And they've come into the 21st century because they're actually making L3 the run button. And I'm not sure if you encountered this, because I'm not sure if, like me, you try this every time you are in a first-person game. I was trying to slide, and they actually put like a slide in the game where if you're running like circle, you do like a little knee slide. I was so excited about it.
Yes, I love it. That was a thing I did notice, by the way. At the start, he is limping and stuff because he's fallen over, and then he within seconds he's running.
You transport yourself into the game, and it's like, yep, I'm fine now.
I did put down I think, oh no, sorry, I've skipped one. The hallway bit I feel we should talk about.
Which in the school?
Yeah, there's a school bit and you're in a hallway, which gets very, very creepy.
Yeah, it definitely is. Kind of, I would say that's probably the high point of the demo in terms of like suspense building. Yeah,
I think, and it's a very good thing to see that they've improved on, because a lot of the time in the original Outlast, it's all about you on a linear path that the game sets out. You walk here, something happens. You walk to the next place, something happens. Whereas in this, it put kind of almost a set piece in where you walk to the end of something, then it communicates the next thing, then it turns you around for the next thing, and it was a nice kind of thing to see them put in, because it was a
I actually I wrote down, because obviously we're gonna have game footage up of this, so maybe throw it up now.
Yeah, well.
When you get to the locker and you use the music box, I felt that was very kind of game mechanic, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Because the locker opens and you're kind of, even though you're scared, you feel compelled to like explore that, and it's very important that games do that. Like, it's important they make you want to do stuff, especially in a horror game, that you probably would not do in real life. Like, if a locker magically opened up in front of me in real life, I would go the other way. But but like game mechanic wise, I definitely think it was clever how they like open that locker and then show you the music box and like make you play it to progress the game. Because you playing that music box is, I then think, the trigger for the like spooky ghost to appear.
Speaking of the spooky ghost, by the way, I really liked the hallway bit. It was one of my favorite points of the demo. But I guess it's just because of the sort of player I am. They put doors in there which you can go and kind of try to open. And I kept I guess as I say, it's the sort of player I am. I try and open like every door to see if there's like more batteries in that room, or if that's the way I'm supposed to go, or whatever.
Yeah, you are fully a game scavenger.
I really, really am. And I don't know if this happened to you. When I was trying to open doors and stuff, the ghost kind of thing was floating by me, and I kind of got freaked out by it. I was like, oh, what the hell is that? And I kind of saw it happen. But at the same time, I was like, well, I don't know what you want me to do. I don't know if I'm supposed to go in this door or you're trying to do something. And I was kind of pulled away from what I was wanting to do.
Yeah, I mean, thankfully, I don't think that experience is kind of exclusive to you. Because when the ghost was flying back and forth, I kept, like, for a minute thinking it was just my imagination. Because there are, like, traditionally, there have been kind of graphical things in Outlast that sometimes make me think I'm seeing things I'm actually not.
And kind of lighting things and distractions.
Yeah,
and stuff.
Exactly. Yeah. But, like, because the ghost was so, like, corner of your eye, even in the game, I definitely felt to begin with like I was missing something, when actually I think that was kind of the idea. But I do see your point where you can be like trying to explore, and what they're doing is actually kind of detracting from that.
Yeah.
But I guess it is to a degree an on-rails horror experience, so maybe that's what you should expect.
Yeah. And moving to the sort of like latter stages of it, the cornfield bit. What were your thoughts?
I actually experienced something, and I can't tell if this was glitched AI or like a bad hiding position.
Okay.
Because as you like, I ran straight forwards into the corn. I didn't realize there's actually a path through the corn that you can follow.
Is there?
Yeah, there's literally like a cutout path.
Oh, right.
But
okay, wow.
Obviously, if you follow that, it's easier for them to find you.
Yeah.
But I went straight ahead through the corn and jumped into a barrel because there was someone coming. And I was hiding in this barrel. And it's a kind of cool mechanic because the barrel has holes in it, but you can't see everything through the holes. So you have to peek up through the lid to actually see anything. But that, I think, makes it more likely that they'll spot you.
Mm-hmm.
But I jumped into this barrel. An enemy walked along in front of it, turned his back on me, but then didn't leave.
Oh,
and
really?
I sat there for a good 3 or 4 minutes, and he was just stood in front of this barrel 3 feet away. And I couldn't tell if it was the AI had glitched and he wasn't following his set path anymore, or if my hiding spot wasn't great, or if that was their intention to make me get spotted when I jumped out.
Right.
But literally the second, because I was like, okay, I literally have to leave this because I can't just sit here. The second I jumped out of that barrel, they then found me, and I had to then run to the end of the level because I was I got spotted and there was nowhere for me to hide.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that was a glitch thing or if that was a me thing, but it did get on my nerves a little bit. I don't think if you're in a hiding spot, it should be somewhere you're then stuck.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, but I don't think that area was structured well enough to let you explore. I'm not sure if it was deliberately trying to drive you towards the objective, or
I think
if it just wasn't great design.
I think in the main game when it comes out, I think that's going to be a much more fleshed out part, or it's going to be a part that they repeat, so you'll have quite a few cornfield sections, because I think that was one of the things I've noted down. That cornfield section, or if they use it as a regular thing, could be a really, really cool bit of the game, or could be really cool bits of the game, because that's a really great mechanic kind of hiding bit where it's really tense. They communicate well where you have to go by avoiding the lights, because I basically just went by the thing. I was like, okay, they're there. I'm gonna run where their lights are not pointing, and I actually messaged you right at the end because I thought that I'd gotten through that cornfield bit way too quickly, because I ran straight for the entire time, got to the end of the demo, and I was like, oh, is that it? Because I expected the cornfield section to be a lot longer, so I don't know if the main game will have a longer, fleshed out bit of that or not.
Yeah, definitely. I would think not that they will, but that they should. I don't know necessarily what they want to do with that.
Yeah.
But it's a very kind of typical horror thing. There's tons of movies, I can think of a few already, that are not set in cornfields but have cornfield scenes.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if you've seen any of that gameplay of Dead by Daylight, but that's another game that kind of does a similar thing. And it's it's such a trope of horror movies, but it's because it's so good and so tense when you're actually there. And I definitely agree with you. I would like to see more of that.
Yeah.
Or just a more fleshed out area in the actual full game, because it's definitely scary. It just wasn't realized to its full potential, I don't think.
Yeah. And see, I don't know if I want it. I'm wishful thinking. No, sorry. I'm wishing, but I don't want too much. I don't want them to overuse the cornfield if it's going to be a repetitive thing.
No, I don't want it to be
really annoying.
Yeah, I don't want it to be the flick 3 switches mechanic from the first game.
Exactly my thought.
Which is a nightmare.
Yeah.
But I do think they should do more with it.
Yeah.
And I didn't really have a finish to that thought.
Yeah, no, that's fair. Yeah, I think it was a good game. I think if they take the good things, they leave the bad things, like the 3 switch mechanics and stuff, and they carry on with the direction they took the demo, they really take it down that really well designed and really well planned out linear horror path, I think it could be a really fantastic game.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm definitely interested to see where they take the supernatural element, because there's a lot more of that in this one. It's definitely more psychological, you're not sure if your character's hallucinating or if it's actually happening.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely interested to see where they go with that.
And I did like that as well, that it was more psychological, because a lot of Outlast's horror did kind of rely on the jump scare kind of climax moments. and I liked that it was spooky all the way through, and it had some really great jump scares, like that moment where you open a window and a bird flies out, and it's like, whoa.
Yeah, it's great just because you're expecting to get jumped by an enemy, so it's nice that they kind of subvert that. But
yeah,
I'm very excited for the game. I think it's going to be real good if they carry on the way they've done with the demo.
Yeah, I'm very excited as well. And the question on everyone's heads, Oliver, is, are we gonna play
their
it?
lips.
Yeah, there you go. What did I say?
Heads.
Why did I say that?
It's a good question. It's a new expression, I suppose.
Yeah, that's not how that goes. Yeah, the question on everyone's lips is, are we gonna play Outlast 2 on the show?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Like, there's no doubt that Outlast was probably our most successful series.
Yeah.
Originally, it was definitely more successful than some of the other long series we've done.
Yep.
So I absolutely think for you guys, we will be definitely playing Outlast 2 when it comes out.
Yeah. All right. Have you got anything else you wanna say, or is that? I think we've covered most. No, of the bases.
I think we covered most of the stuff I was interested in.
Yeah. Well, thank you everyone so much for watching. Remember to go if you have a PC, if you play games, go download the demo now. It's free on PlayStation Store, the Xbox Live Store, on Steam. I believe it's free. If you're into Halloween stuff, go play some Outlast 2.
Yeah, if you're into Halloween stuff, go and check out our channel. Currently releasing lots of different Halloween stuff for October.
Yep.
Or if you're interested in this more discussion-based stuff, you can check out our long playthroughs, or you can look at Duncan's review for Batman, the Telltale series.
Yeah.
And like, subscribe.
Yeah, make sure you like, you comment, you subscribe. If you have a thought on the Outlast 2 demo, make sure to let us know. But yeah, other than that, thank you very much for watching.
Thank you. Tune in next time.
Tune in next time.
Bye.
Bye.